Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya
Mahakaya
Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva
Guru me
Sarvakaryeshu
deva
Seva
sarva karyeshu sarvada.
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ श्रीमात्रे नमः. So let us start with the verse. We are doing verse number 26. Virinchi panchatvam vrajati harirapnoti viratim. Virinchi panchatvam vrajati harirapnoti viratim. Vinasham kinasho bhajati dhanado yati nidhanam. Vinasham kinasho bhajati dhanado yati nidhanam. Virinchi panchatvam vrajati harirapnoti viratim. Vinasham kinasho bhajati dhanado yati nidhanam. Vitandri mahendri vitatirrapi sammilitadrisha. Vitandri mahendri vitatirapi sammilitadrisha. Mahasamsaresmin viharati sati tvatpatirasau. Mahasamharesmin viharati sati tvatpatirasau. Vitandri mahendri vitatirapi sammilitadrisha. Mahasamharesmin viharati sati tvatpatirasau. Full shloka. Virinchi panchatvam rajati harirapnoti viratim. Vinasham kinasho bhajati dhanado yati nidhanam. Vitandri mahendri vitatirapi militas drisha. Mahasamharesmin viharati sati tatpatirasau. Virinchi. Virinchi is Brahma. Brahma Panchatvam. He gains release. So Brahma gains release. Then says Panchatvam Vrajati gains. Panchatvam means to get to dissolve or to gain release, to be released. Vrajati, he gets that. Hari, Vishnu, Apnoti gets Viratim. Viratim means chutti. It means vacation. Vishnu gets a vacation. Vinasham, destroyed. Kinasho is Yama. Bhajati. Bhajati means bhajan. Bhajan has bhaja. The word has multiple meaning. Bhaja also means to get. So Kinasho, Yama gets this death. Dhanada is the Kubera, person who gives dhana. So Dhanada Yati again gets Nidhanam, becomes poor, he dies actually. Nidhan means to die. Vitandri Mahendri, Vitandri becomes sleep, goes to sleep. Vitatirapi Sammilita Drisha. So here the Indra and the other devas, they go into the deepest possible sleep. Mahasamharesmin, when the entire pralaya happens, viharati. So the who goes in the vihara, who goes into this recreation mode, who is watching? Sati tvat patiraso. Sati, O Devi, that is Sati is Devi. Tvat, your husband. So what the Acharya is saying over here. So let us look at the meanings again. Virinchi, Lord Brahma, Panchatvam, destruction. So, Panchatvam means getting mixed back into the 5 elements. Panchabhutanam Vyashti Rupatam. Maranam Yati Yavat Vradati means get. Hari Vishnu. Apnoti gets. Virati. Virati means end. So when the school ka virati ho gaya, virati means school has ended, school has been released, right? Then Vinasham, destruction. Kinashaha. Kinashaha is Yama. Bhajati gets. Dhanada, Lord Kuber. Yati gets. Nidhanam. Nidhanam means to die. To die. Vitandri gets immersed in deep sleep. Mahendri Vitatihi. So Vitati Api. So the whole group of devas, including Lord Indra, all of them, they get into deep sleep. Sammilita Drisha. So the eye is closed. Drisha is the eyes. Sammilita. Eyes are closed because the two lids merge with each other. The milita. So the eyes merge with each other. The lids merge with each other. So they have closed their eyes. Mahasanhare during the Mahapralaya. Asmin. This Viharati plays with you. Sati, oh goddess. The goddess here is addressed as Sati, meaning that she is Pativrata. She is the one who has only one husband. Tvat Pati, your husband. Asau, this. So, what the Acharya is saying, that during Mahapralaya, okay, so what is Pralaya? Pralaya, we experience Laya every day. Every day when we go into deep sleep, we have 3 avasthas: Jagrat avastha, Sapna avastha, and Sushupti. When we go into deep sleep, Sushupti, we have experienced Laya, right? Chota Mrityu, it is also called. So where the body, mind, intellect has stopped functioning, so it is called Laya. Pralaya means Prakarshena Laya, when the body, mind, intellect dissolves. When the person dies, you say he has got into Pralaya. When this entire universe goes into that state, it is called Mahapralaya, right? And this is a cyclical thing. It keeps happening. In the Bhagavad Gita, very clearly we have got the explanation of how the entire universe gets merged and then keeps coming back, and merges and keeps coming back. In one of the Devi Bhagavatams, it is one of the Devi, which Purana I don't remember. Either it is the Devi Bhagavatam or it is in Kalika Purana. I don't remember which one. One of the two. It says that this entire universe is created when she breathes out. The entire universe is created. When she breathes in, the entire universe is absorbed. Each breath of hers is just that. So here he says, so what is Mahapralaya? Mahapralaya is where all the tattvas, all the tanmatras are the senses are attached to that. The tanmatra comes first, right? Sound comes first. Sound creates sound. The vibration of sound becomes a little lesser. It creates space. This vibration of sound becomes a little less. It creates touch. Touch, the vibration becomes a little lesser. It creates Vayu. Vayu, the vibration becomes a little lower. It creates heat. The vibration of heat becomes a little lower. It creates fire. The vibration of fire becomes a little lower. It creates taste. The taste vibration becomes lower. It creates it creates water. Water, the vibration becomes even lower. It creates smell. Smell, the vibration becomes lower. It creates Prithvi, earth. Right? So when the Panchatattvam get merged, this entire, so this is called Panchikarana. Panchikarana. The process of the 5 getting created. And this Panchikarana also is in reverse. So the earth merges into Gandha. Gandha merges into fire, into water. Water merges into taste. Taste merges into fire. Fire merges into heat. Heat merges into air. Air merges into touch. Touch merges into space. Space merges into sound. And sound then gets into dissolution. This is the entire reverse process. This is called Mahapralaya. So all these, they just merge into that one. The last one gets merged into infinity. Then who remains? Only Shiva and Shakti remain. Only Shiva and Shakti remain. So only when they are there, the goddess Shakti is the only witness to the to Shiva's dance of destruction. Right? What do we say in Lalita Sahasranam? Do you remember the name?
Shiva Tandava Sakshini.
Mahatandava Sakshini.
Mahapralaya Mahatandava Sakshini. Right? So she is the witness of the Mahapralaya. Now, when we say you are the witness, means she is not affected by that Mahapralaya. Mahapralaya, she is not affected. I think verse number, shloka number 5, was name number 570, 571. So Mahapralaya Mahatandava Sakshini. So there, see, when I say I own this, right? So I cannot be this. It is held by my finger. So I own the finger. I cannot be the finger. So I am observing the finger. Correct? So I am a witness to the finger. I am a sakshi to the finger. The finger is moving. Now I am not moving. The finger is moving. So I am a witness to that movement. Nothing is happening to me. I am only witnessing. She similarly, when Shiva is dancing that wonderful tandava of absorbing, the tandava is an absorption, right? What are the 5 krityas of Parameshwara? We have seen 5 acts that Parameshwara does. Ishvara has 5 actions. We have seen that in Soundarya Lahari itself. She gives these 5 jobs to five devatas.
Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana,
and
Anugraha.
Correct. Very beautiful. So, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana, and Anugraha. She does nothing. She has given these powers to these 5. Panchapreta Samasina. Right? These 5 cannot function without her. So these 5, when she has given these powers, and therefore she is the witness to all of this. So in modern day parlance, she is doing a Zoom call and she watches and she says, okay, now tell me what was the report on what had happened. And she takes reports. So very beautifully here, the Acharya says that she is the witness to the entire destruction, the final destruction that is happening. So Brahma assumes name and form and goes. Vishnu assumes name and form, goes. Yama assumes name and form, goes. Kubera assumes name and form and goes. Devendra, along with all the other devatas, they come and they go. In this Mahapralaya, your husband, Sadashiva, he is dancing the Samhar Tandava, and it is witnessed by you alone. You are the only witness to this particular dance. When we lie down in Laya, when we are in Sushupti, we also lose name and form. Nama Rupa has gone. There is no Nama, there is no Rupa, there is no identification. It is the deep state where the deep state is called, it has complete Ananda. Unfortunately, when we wake up, we are not in Ananda anymore. We have experience of the memory of Ananda. So, one of the commentators on the Mandukya Upanishad, when we talk about the 4th state, so 3 states we have talked about, right? The Jagrata Avastha, Sapna Avastha, Sushupti. The 4th state, the rishis had no name for it. They called it Turiya. Turiya, 4th state. The name itself is 4th because there is no way to describe it. The commentator says, okay, so Mandukya Upanishad was commented upon by Sri Gaudapada. Gaudapada is Bhagawan Shankaracharya's Guru, Govindapada, his Guru, Gaudapada. Gaudapada has commented in a poetic form. So a poetic commentary is called a Karika. But the Karika itself is so complex that the Karika needed some commentary. So there are many people who have commented on the Mandukya Upanishad. One of the commentators, he says that Turiya state is nothing but experiencing the Ananda of the Sushupti state while awake. Very simple. The Ananda that I feel when my body, mind, intellect has completely switched off in my deep sleep, when I am able to experience that in my Jagrata Avastha, then I am in my Turiya state. Now that Turiya state, the only witness to that is the Atman, or we can call it Devi. So he is dancing this Samhara Tandava. So incidentally, just for this Rudra, Shiva has multiple Tandavas. Why is it called Tandava? Any idea? Do you know? Why is that dance called Tandava? The rishi who wrote down the steps that he was dancing is a rishi called Tandu. Some people say he is a Shiva Gana. Some people say he is a rishi. He wrote down the steps of how Shiva was dancing. So that, therefore, it is called, the dance is called Tandava dance. And Shiva has multiple Tandavas. Yugala Tandava, where Shiva and Kali, they dance together. We have seen that if you go to Chidambaram, you will see one sculpture where it beautifully shows how Shiva defeated Kali when they were dancing. So what happened is, Shiva, while they were dancing, his earring fell off. The earring fell off. And he lifted the earring with his 2 toes, and he lifted his leg and he put it in the ear. Right? Kali could not do that, because if she had lifted her leg like that, then she would have exposed her lower parts. So out of shame or out of propriety, she refused to lift her leg that way, and therefore she conceded defeat. This sculpture is there in Chidambaram. In Chidambaram, he has danced what is called the Ananda Tandava. Ananda Tandava. In Chidambaram, there is no linga, right? You know the story over there. There is a Nataraja Murti. Actually, there is a linga. That is the actual Akasha Linga. But that Akasha Linga is not, it is called the Adi Chidambaram. It is there in the same complex. Very powerful Shivalinga. But quite neglected, because people are all concentrating on seeing the Nataraja Murti. At that particular Linga, 2 rishis, Patanjali and Vyagrapada. These 2 rishis, they did tapasya. When Shiva appeared over there, they asked him to dance the Tandava and show them. And he danced in joy. So it is called the Ananda Tandava. So multiple such Tandavas. Incidentally, Vyagrapada himself also, both of them. Patanjali, lower part of the body is a snake. He is actually an avatar of Adishesha. And Vyagrapada, he had done a lot of tapasya. When Brahma came to him and asked him, what you want? He said, I want to be able to pluck the tenderest of the bilva leaves to be able to offer them to my Lord. To do that, I should be able to climb any tree. So let my feet become like a tiger. So his feet became like a tiger with claws, which he would use to climb up on the bilva tree, because the bilva tree has thorns. So that with the cat feet, he would climb up and pick the tenderest of the bilva leaves and come and do Shiva Puja. So this is Vyagrapada. So these are all Tandavas that were there in day-to-day life. But at the end, there is one Tandava which is only witnessed by one person. Nobody has seen it. No rishi has seen it. Nothing has seen it. Nobody has seen it. It is called Samhara Tandava. Only Devi has the witness. And therefore, he says that, see, when we want something, you have to put in effort, right? But there is one thing that you have got without any effort. And that is that sense of I. Your sense of I, you didn't have any effort to do it. It is natural to you. But what is that I? You don't know. So I normally use these words. I normally say, people say, oh, he has realized. No, there is nothing to realize. There is nothing to realize. You have to unrealize what you have made real in your mind. You have made this body real. you have made the mind real, you have made the intellect real. When the body, mind, intellect have become unreal, then you recognize. Cognize means to understand. Recognize, to re-understand, to understand again. Understand that this is the actual me. At a microcosmic level, at our individual level, that is the Samhara Tandava that is played by Shiva. And the witness to that is our Atman, which is nothing but the manifestation of Devi. So he says, therefore in the shloka, what does he say? He says, Virinchi panchatvam brajati harirapnoti viratim vinasham kinasho bhajati dhanado yati nidhanam vitandri mahendra vitatirapi sammilita drisha mahasamharesmin viharati sati tvatpatir asau. So this is the brief understanding of this particular shloka. If you look at another, some people have commented, why has he used the word sati over there? Sati, the word typically indicates chastity. So, pativrata. So the verse actually is not talking about the chastity of Parashakti. So the discussion about her chastity makes no sense. Right? There is no sense in talking about her chastity because she is everything, and she can only be in the presence of Shiva only. And therefore, the question of even her chastity itself is incomprehensible. Therefore, Acharya is definitely not talking about her chastity. He has just used a name. That is my understanding of this particular here. So, the Shiva is consciousness, right? This consciousness is called Chit Shakti. Chit Shakti. Devi is full of Ananda. It is called Ananda Shakti. Chit Shakti, Ananda Shakti, and both of them exist. Sat. So therefore, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So one can attain Shiva, one can attain Devi only when we are in the state of bliss. When do we get into that state of bliss? When we remove the identification of this body, mind, intellect. And therefore, even in the Lalita Sahasranama, what do we understand with her? She is Shiva Jnana Pradayini. Right? We say that. She is the one who gives us Shiva Jnana. What is Shiva Jnana? Shiva Jnana is that Ananda that we experience when we have that oneness with this entire universe. And which is why Chit and Ananda together is Shiva. Chidananda Rupa. Right? That is why this word is used. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So it is an inseparable union between Shiva and Shakti. That is what has been reiterated in this particular verse. Right? Any questions? So if you look at the structure of how Soundarya Lahari goes, you will see that the initial first part was a description of Devi. It had description of how she lives, where she lives, what her hands, her feet, her body, her hair, all of that was beautifully described. Then he has moved into what she does, what are her powers, right? Later on, we will understand how she interacts also, how she will interact with us. So that is where we will see that later.
In
Hitaji, yes.
in Lalita Trishati, Devi is one of the names are Shrimkara Sthana Nartaki. How is that dance different from this Tandava?
So, okay, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful question. So, what is Reem? Reem is a very, very powerful Bijakshara. It is Devi herself. So, any Bijakshara is Devi. Any Akshara is Devi. Akshara, that which does not become, that which does not have Shaya, is Akshara. So, Akshara is Devi. Of these Aksharas, there are some Aksharas which are called Bijakshara. Right? These are seed sounds. Literal meaning is seed sound. Which is the first seed sound? Which is the first Bijakshara? Aumkara. Right? Aumkara is the first Bijakshara. The female counterpart to the Aumkara is Reemkara. So first we have to understand. Now it says Reemkara Sthana Nartaki. Right? What does this mean? When she is in the form of Lalita, when she has taken form, when she is Ishwari, not Parabrahman, when she is Ishwari, she is part of the material world, right? She has Trigunamayi. In Trigunamayi form, she is not Omkara Sthana Nartaki. There is no dance at Omkara. At Omkara, there is no dance. So the dance that we see here in this world, Reemkara indicates the Ahladini Shakti of Paramashiva. Ahladini Shakti means the Shakti which creates bliss, the Shakti which creates joy. If you are one with this nature, if you are one with Prakriti, then everything that is happening in Prakriti is creating a huge bliss, a wave of bliss. That dance that you see around her, I'm getting goosebumps when I'm even talking about this. When you see that dance, when you see that you put sprouts in your house and you see that small sprouts coming up, you see those plants coming up, you see the wind moving the trees, you see the clouds forming and dissolving. This is her dance. This is the Reemkar Sthana Nartaki. She is dancing this. It is not a Tandava. It is the dance of creation. It is the dance of physical creation, destruction, and the cycle here. That is the Reemkar Sthana Nartaki. She is the one who is creating that dance. But thank you. Beautiful question.
So much for that question. I also didn't know what it was which is happening around in the universe. But now after this explanation, it's really nice.
So that is the, now let us go to the Tripura Sundari Ashtakam. First verse. Atha Tripura Sundari Ashtakam Kadamba Vanacharinim Muni Kadamba Kadambinim Nitamba Jita Bhudaram Suranitam Dini Sevitam Navamburu Halochanam Abhinavambuda Shamalam Trilochana Kutumbinim Tripura Sundarim Ashraye. Second verse. Kadamba Vanavasinim Kanakavallaki Dharinim Maharmaniharinим Mukha Sumulla Sadwarinim Kadamba Vanavasinim Kanaka Vallaki Dharinim Maharhamani Harinim Mukha Sumulla Sadwarinim Daya Vibhavakarinim Vishada Lochanim Charinim Trilochana Kutumbinim Tripura Sundarim Ashraye. Kadamba Vana Charinim, we saw in the first verse. She moves around. She also stays there. The heart of the forest, she is there as the Spandanam. So she is in the middle of the Kadamba Vana. Kanaka Vallaki Dharinim. Kanaka means golden. Vallaki. Vallaki is a type of veena. It is a type of veena. Why is she holding a veena? We have normally seen Tripura Sundari holding Pasha, Ankusha, bow made of sugarcane, Ikshuchapa, Pushpabana. Right? That is her description. Suddenly, where is this Vallaki Vadini? Where is she coming from? What is the meaning of Vallaki Vadini? Vallaki Vadini, we have seen Saraswati. Right? Saraswati is always defined as one of the names of Saraswati in the Ashtotara Shatam Namartana. When we do Vallaki Vadini, we say she holds a veena, veena pani. Right? Why is Lalita now holding a Vallaki? What is the meaning?
Is she, I mean, is sound or movement laya?
Yes, absolutely. The entire, we just now talked about the dance of creation, right? The dance of creation and destruction. That has an inner music. And that music is played by her. She is the orchestrator of this entire music. And this dance is beautiful. Kanakavallaki. It is a beautiful dance. We sometimes see, oh, this person is suffering from this particular disease, that person is poor. All of it is a part of the dance. All of it is part of dance. And all of that, and all these so-called sufferings that we create, we create those sufferings. She is Anandamai. In none of her names, in anywhere, do we say she is Dukkhamai, right? Do we? Dukhadatri, Dukkhamai, Rogadatri. We don't say all these. Why? Because we create all those sufferings. Our vasanas create those sufferings. Our identifications create those sufferings. Mahara Maniharini. She's wearing a Manihara. Manihara, Mani means here. So a lot of people, they translate Manikantan as the name of Lord Ayyappan as a bell, and they put a bell on the neck, symbolizing that he has also become Ayyappan. Mani, that is the literal translation into Tamil. Mani means gems. He was found with a gem necklace. That is why he was named Manikantan. Right? Here also we have to see Manihara. Manihara, it is a necklace of beautiful gems. But it is a large necklace. It is extending right up to her navel. Mahara Maniharini. Mukha Tumalla Sadwarinim. So here, from her face, Tumalla is nectar, ambrosia, amrita. Sadwarinim, it is flowing from her face. So when you have reached her, you have attained immortality. Oh, how then does it mean that I will not die? You cannot die. Your body may die. Your mind may become comatose. Your intellect may freeze. You may have Alzheimer's. You may get Parkinsonism. You cannot die. You cannot die because you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. And therefore, here very beautifully he says, Mukha Samulla Sadwarinim. Mukha Samulla Sadwarinim. So Kadamba Vanavasinim, Kanakavallaki Dharinim, Maharha Maniharinim, Mukha Samulla Sadwarinim, Daya Vibhava Karinim. Daya. Interesting story. There is a Bengali bhajan, which is a Vaishnavite bhajan, which basically says, in Bengali it says, Jive Daya Kore Jejon, Amare Priya Hoy Shejon. It is, which means basically people who do Daya towards other jivas, they are the ones who are dear to me. So somebody was singing this bhajan in front of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa went into Samadhi, and he started shouting. And he said, Daya, Daya, who gave you the authority to do the Daya? Change the words. Jive prem kore jejon. Those who love other beings, they are the ones who are dear to the Lord. You do not have the authority to do Daya. Only she can do Daya. Right? Because, see, we talk of, in verse chapter 2 verse 7 he says verse 9 he says karpanya dosho hatasvabhava. Karpanya dosha. Kripana means miser. What does a miser do? This is mine, I will not give it. This is mine, this is mine. Another meaning of karpanya comes from kripa, he who has kripa. Now who can have kripa? Who is person who can hold, who owns everything, only that person can do kripa. Can I do kripa on something that I don't own? I am feeling very graceful for the on the road in front of me. Right? I want to shower grace on the road. I cannot shower grace on the road because I don't own it. So what can you shower grace on? We can shower grace on nothing because we don't own anything. Who can shower grace? Only she who owns everything. She is the only one who can do showering of grace. Daya is a representation of her unending, causeless, ahetu kripa. Ahetu kripa. Without any hetu, without any cause, she has kripa. Vibhava. Vibhava, the person who has vibhava, receives vibhava, becomes Vaibhava. He becomes Vaibhava, which means prosperous. He becomes prosperous. Now, prosperous does not mean that he will have 4 bungalows and 5 cars. Right? So here, her grace gives us prosperity. Daya vibhavakarini. Vishada lochanim charinim. Vishada. Vishada means spotless. Vishada lochanim charinim. I think I made a mistake in the English. I think I wrote lochanim by mistake. I put an R instead of an L. But it's lochanim. Vishada lochanim charinim. Vishada lochanim. Her spotless eyes, they are all the time moving. Charinim. They are moving up and down. They are moving up and down. Why are they moving up and down? Because she is Meenakshi. What is Meenakshi? Oh, people say, oh, Meenakshi means her eyes are shaped like a fish. Well, that could be one description. That could be one description. The other description, the understanding is that her eyes are all the time, and we have seen that in Lalita Sahasranam also. Chalana Meenabha Lochana. Right? Chalana Meenabha Lochana. Her eyes are not moving around. Her eyes, the eyeballs are moving. Why? Because she is observing. We are always under her observation. Once I was asked by somebody, what do you do when you are alone? My spontaneous answer was, I am never alone. I can never be alone because she is always there with me. So therefore, misbehaving, going away from the path. See, if the monitor is always there in the class, or the class teacher is always there in the class, all the children are all very calm and quiet, no? So that is why you understand here where the Acharya is saying that her eyes are Vishada Lochani, spotless. She sees without any judgment. Vishada Lochana. We have, our eyes do not have spotless, we are not spotless eyes. When we watch something, we see something, we have judgment. This judgment is a spot. It's a mark, right? I'm forgetting the exact quotation. It's from the Bible, where he's talking of saying that don't point to the spot in the other person's eye when you have a bar. You have a bar in your eye. So your eye has a long bar, and you are pointing out, iske aankh mein there is a dot, iske aankh mein there is a dot. We don't realize that we are the ones who are causing these judgments. So Vishada Lochani, she without judgment. Bhagavan Dattatreya, in his 24 Gurus, in Srimad Bhagavat, he gives a very beautiful explanation where he says, one of my first Gurus is Suryadev. Suryadev shines on everybody in the equal way. He doesn't care whether you are a papi, whether you are a punyatma, whether you are a sadhu, whether you are a asura, whether you are a deva. It doesn't matter. He shines on everybody equally. That is her nature. Daya vibhavakarini. She is graceful to everybody. What we do with that grace, that is up to us. See, even with ghor tapasya, see, all these rishis, they do tapasya and all that. None of them do tapasyas like the asuras, no? Whenever we see some tapasya picture in Amrita, what is that? Amar Chitra Katha, then you find it is always the asura doing tapasya with one leg standing, or he's sitting inside the fire. All those pictures, or Ravana cutting off his heads one by one. All these ghora tapasyas are done by them. They are great devotees. Their intelligence is extremely high, much more than ours. What makes them an asura is that their sense of identification is not lost. So even when Brahma comes physically in front of him, Ravana says, make me a ruler of the 3 worlds. What he should have asked for is, give me the power to have devotion. Give me the power, which is what Prahlad asked, right? And that is why Prahlad is the Bhakta Prahlad. And Prahlad is Amar. So, that is the meaning of the entire verse. Atha Tripura Sundari Ashtakam Kadamba Vanacharinim Muni Kadamba Kadambinim Nitamba Jita Bhudharam Suranitambi Sevitam Navamba Ruhalochanam Abhinavam Budashamalam Trilochana Kutumbinim Tripura Sundari Mashraye Kadamba Vanavasinim Kanakavallaki Dharinim Maharhamani Harinim Mukhasamulla Sudwarinim Daya Vibhavakarinim Vishadalochanim Charinim Trilochana Kutumbinim Tripura Sundarim Ashraye.
Guruji, I have one comment and one question. First of
Sure.
all, you mentioned the term Rochani. So what does Rochani mean?
No, it was a mistyping. It is
Right.
Lochani.
Right. Not in this context, but what does the word Rochani mean?
Rochanam.
Because it comes in kritis, so I got minded.
Okay, wait a minute. I will have to check. Rochana means to be radiant, to shine. I just looked up the dictionary.
Radiant.
To be pleasant, to be pleasant, to be radiant, to be shining, to be lovely.
I was listening to one more program by this person called Vinay Varnasi, and he was talking about this Dhyana Slokam of in Kanakadhara Stotram, which is anyway, that'll come to me. The other request I wanted to make, is there a recording of the Lalita Sahasranamam discourse, that classes that you have taken, Lalita Sahasranamam? Because I have missed it completely, so I don't know.
I think it is there on my drive. I will share the link on the drive, from the drive to
You're supposed to put it on YouTube, Anna.
One by one it will go. Everything can't go together. It takes too much time. So, but yes, you're right. I will do that. But for immediate access, what I will do is I will take that drive. It is there on the drive. I will put it from the drive. I'll just share the link so that you can access the drive and you can download.
That other slokam from Kanakadhara was Diggastivi Kanakakumbhamkha Vasishta Sarvahini Vimala Charu Jalapluta. You were talking about radiance.
Yes.
Radiating. So in that, the 8 elephants, they pour the water on Mahalakshmi and on Lakshmi Devi, and the fact that she is wet from the water shows that she is, the karuna is flowing from her. That's what I just want to share.
Even in Sri Suktam, we say Chiklita Vasame Grihe, Kardama, right? We use these words, Kardama, Chiklita. These are all indicative of moistness. Ardra, these are all words which come in Sri Suktam. And these are words which indicate that moistness. Why is moistness important? Because without moistness, you cannot have the nature giving you back. In a desert, nothing will grow. So that moistness comes from her. So that prosperity, Shri, is basically from her. So that is why that moistness has been indicated. Which is why if you look at the Dashamahavidyas, if you look at the last one, which is called Kamalatmika, she is portrayed as Lakshmi. See, whenever you see Lakshmi as Lakshmi, in the Shastric sense, then she will be with Narayana, with Vishnu. But when she is alone, she is actually Kamalatmika. When she is Kamalatmika, there will be 2 elephants pouring nectar over her. Right? They hold nectar and they pour that nectar on her, indicating that she is the embodiment of prosperity. In Kanakadhara Stotram, he describes it as 8 elephants, which means the 8 elephants are the Ashta Diggajas. There are 8 elephants across this entire world. They are holding up this entire universe, is how we call it, right? They are the pointers of these 8 points of the compass. There are 8 large elephants. They are called Diggaja. These Diggajas, all the prosperity from all the corners of the world are centered onto her only. And then she absorbs that and then she radiates it outward. That is Sri.
I have one question. Last time when you were taking the class, you were explaining about Sri Vidya. And you were telling it starts with the Ganapati,
Uchishta Ganapati, yes.
Uchishta Ganapati, and then it goes on. And so, what exactly is this Sri Vidya?
So, okay. So basically, if you look at how the schools of thought, we have the Advaitic school of thought, which basically takes, so there are schools of thought which are based out of the Vedas. These schools of thought which are based out of the Vedas, they are called they are Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita. These are all these schools, and then there are Shuddha Advaita, Dvaita Advaita. All these are schools of thought which have been propounded by various Acharyas, starting with Adi Shankaracharya from the Advaita school. There is a whole school of thought which gives importance to the Vedas, but gives higher importance to what is called the Agamas. Agamas are conversations between Shiva and Parvati. Conversations between Shiva and Parvati. These conversations between, they are called Agama. If it is reversed, where Shiva is asking Parvati something and Parvati explains, it is called Nigama. So these Agama, Nigama, these originate into a school of thought which is called Tantra. Tantra basically, unlike in the Vedic method, the body, mind, intellect, irrespective of whatever is your school of thought, the physical body, mind, intellect is denied. It is said that this is, you have to overcome it, right? Tantra, on the other hand, says the body is real. This world is real. It is a manifestation of the reality. However, you can use it to cross over. The goal is the same. The goal is the same. Now, Tantra itself got divided into two parts, the Vamachara and the Dakshinachara. Vamachara has been very badly misinterpreted because the Vamachara is what is called the, it is meant for the Veeras. Veeras are heroes, people who have the heroic strength to take what is prohibited and overcome that. So they use what is called Pancha Makara, Mamsa, Matsya, Mamsa is meat, Matsya, which is fish, Mithuna, which is sex, Mudra, which is coins, and Madira, which is alcohol. So they actually take these five and they use these five to overcome. The Ramakrishna Paramahansa very clearly says that that is not for everybody. It is for that person who has been born with that heroic tendency where he can fight against the greatest of his lowest nature and overcome it. So for us, there is the Dakshinachara. The Dakshinachara is a more sober, very similar to what we are doing. So it will have the Shodashupachara, Puja, it will have all these things. But the rituals, the mantras and all that are different. One of the divisions of Tantra, and in Tantra, one of the important things is that, okay, so Tantras themselves, again, there are Shaiva Tantras and there are Vaishnava Tantras also. Vaishnava Agama Shastras are there and Shaiva Agama Shastras are also there. These Agama Shastras not only indicate as to what the spiritual process is, but also indicate how a structure is to be built and so on and so forth. So if you go to building a temple, then you have to call a Agama Shastri. So you call what is called in the south, they call them the Gurukals, right? And they are not the Vadyas. They are the Gurukals. They are the people who have learned the Agamas. And they come and they do the rituals for establishing and so on and so forth. Because that establishing is in the material world. So that is why the processes are done in that way. The Prana Pratishtha is done in that way. So these tantras, of these tantras, there is one tantra which is called the Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is supposed to be the highest of all tantras. Now every tantra will say that we are the highest. Sri Vidya also says we are the highest. Sri Vidya originates from the fact that mantra, yantra, and the process, tantra, are all the same. So the mantra is the Shodashakshari mantra, which is given at the end of the Sri Vidya process. Then there is the yantra, which is the Sri Yantram. So Sri Yantram, people say, oh, Sri Yantram means it is a Lakshmi Yantra. No, it is not. It is Sri, as in holy, Yantra. It is so indescribable that there is no name for it. So it is called Sri Yantra. And the Sri Yantra, you can Google. It has multiple shapes. It is a very dynamic shape. It's a very interesting thing. It is actually imbalanced. It has 5 downward facing triangles, 4 upward facing triangles, then surrounded by lotus petals, and then surrounded by the by 4 gates. All of that structure, it's actually not symmetrical, but it appears to be symmetrical when you look at it first glance. This is also, when it is put into a 3-dimensional figure, it is called a Meru. So it is called a Meru, or it is in the flat surface, it is called a Yantra. It has 9 levels, starting from the outermost. In the center is the Bindu. The Bindu, then there is a triangle, then there are these 9 triangles called the Navayonis, then there is there are these circles that keep on going outside. These are called chakras. Chakras does not mean wheels. It means the place or a situation right here. So the worship of Devi in the Sri Vidya is by using the yantra, which is nothing but the form of the Devi, through the mantra, which is nothing but again the Devi herself, and approaching from the outermost, which is very, very physical at the bodily level, to reaching to the innermost, which is at the Bindu, which is undefined. The Bindu is undefined. So you reach that point, which becomes a merger, point of merger. So this is in brief, very shortly, it is called Sri Vidya. So in this Sri Vidya, there each of these rings, the avaranas, they are called. These avaranas, they have their own devatas, they have their own worships, they have their own processes. Then you understand that process, you internalize that process becomes part of you, you move to the next process. So on and so forth until you reach the center. So that is the whole movement of Sri Vidya.
Is it done in the form of a puja kind of a thing, a ritual?
Yes. So there is a very elaborate ritual that is done. However, advanced Sri Vidya Upasakas, they go away from once that ritual has been internalized, then that ritual is no longer required. So all rituals, anywhere, any ritual is the same. The ritual is basically to help you to start learning to internalize the process. Once you have internalized it, it can happen automatically. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.